Every day, I meet couples who want to rekindle intimacy in couples therapy. This video is for them and for anyone facing challenges with emotional and physical intimacy. If you wish to jump to the Tools to Rekindle Intimacy section, you can tune in to Chapter 6 from the descriptions index. However, I created the first 5 chapters because I believe it's essential to first understand and empathize with what may be going on with your partner as well, before attempting to rekindle intimacy. For so many couples, intimacy doesn't fade because of a lack of love, but because of unique challenges that relationships bring over time. So let's begin with exploring some of the most common blocks to intimacy I've seen in my couple therapy practice. If you recognize yourself in any of these, you're not alone. I'm going to show you some real practical steps you can take to overcome these barriers and reconnect. Unresolved conflicts frequently lead to emotional distance. Lingering arguments or recurring issues that never fully get resolved create a wall, making it hard to be vulnerable or open. Infidelity or trust issues can also make intimacy feel distant and unreachable. The partner who was betrayed may feel deeply hurt, and rebuilding trust is a journey requiring patience and understanding. Differences in sexual desire or needs can cause frustration and feelings of rejection. When one partner's desire for physical intimacy differs from the other's, it can create emotional distance. Past trauma or attachment wounds frequently act as barriers to intimacy as well. Unresolved wounds from past relationships or childhood can make it difficult to feel safe and open in the present. Health issues or changes in physical attraction may impact intimacy too. Physical health issues or changes in appearance can affect how partners feel about themselves and each other. The longevity of the relationship is often a reason intimacy fades. Over time, what was once exciting may feel familiar, and with familiarity, closeness can start to fade. Long-term relationships naturally bring routines that can overshadow romance. Over time, what was once exciting may feel familiar, and with familiarity, closeness can start to fade. Work and life stress also plays a significant role in reducing intimacy. Busy schedules, family responsibilities, and endless tasks often leave little time or energy for nurturing the relationship. Raising children is transformative, but for many it shifts focus away from the couple. And intimacy often takes a back seat. Modern life pressures, such as social media, technology, and an always-on culture, do contribute to disconnection. Constant digital distractions make it harder to maintain intimacy. Each of these 8 challenges that I've just outlined can leave couples feeling disconnected, but there are ways to address and overcome them. Indeed, intimacy can be restored, and the journey to reconnect starts with understanding these blocks and taking meaningful action. Let's now explore in greater depth the world of emotional and physical intimacy and uncover what meaningful action really looks like in this central area of your relationship. In my practice, I often emphasize that intimacy is both emotional and physical, with emotional intimacy being the foundation. Teal Swan emphasizes that for a woman to truly feel safe and secure in a relationship, it's essential for her partner to create a nurturing emotional environment where she can open up and feel vulnerable. I spend hours trying to get this across to male partners who wonder why their partners no longer feel drawn to intimacy. Creating safety in relationships involves several key concepts that contribute to emotional well-being. One essential aspect to understand is that women often have distinct emotional needs that differ from men's. This is why, in my couples therapy practice, I'm often approached first by the female partner. I've come to realize that to truly help couples rekindle intimacy, it's essential for me to address these gender differences openly and respectfully. Anyhow, we all thrive when we are in an environment that feels secure and supportive, allowing us to express our emotions freely. Feeling secure allows women and men to feel cared for and nurtured, which is vital for intimacy to flourish. In therapy, I help couples work on attunement, the process of understanding and harmonizing with a partner's emotional state. When partners are attuned to each other, they can perceive and respond to each other's needs effectively. This deep understanding fosters trust and enhances emotional connection. I emphasize that love is not merely about positive feelings. It's about genuinely integrating a partner's experiences into one's own perspective. This approach creates a safe environment where both partners can thrive emotionally. People may resist emotional closeness due to past traumas, often feeling that emotional support equates to oppression or control. I help one partner to confront these fears, whilst asking the other partner to provide the emotional safety needed for vulnerability without crossing boundaries of autonomy. In therapy, I ensure couples work on healing emotional wounds proactively. It's about creating a relationship where both partners feel empowered, supported, and safe. The emotional space is key to rekindling intimacy and keeping it alive. But intimacy doesn't just return because we wish it would. In fact, many couples face barriers that block intimacy, often without realizing it. Attachment-related avoidance and anxiety, often formed in early childhood or past relationships, are significant predictors of intimacy issues. Those with attachment insecurity may find it difficult to be vulnerable, trust their partner, or maintain closeness in relationships. In therapy, I start with self-awareness, helping couples recognize their attachment styles, whether secure, avoidant, or anxious, and how these influence intimacy. I help create an emotionally safe environment by practicing empathy, active listening, and non-judgmental support. Gradual vulnerability exercises, starting with small, safe disclosures, can help rebuild trust and create emotional closeness over time. Poor communication often leads to misunderstandings, fueling emotional distance and reducing intimacy. Ongoing unresolved conflicts create an emotional wall, making vulnerability difficult. In therapy, I help couples adopt healthy communication practices. Using I statements to express feelings without blaming helps prevent escalating conflicts. I work with couples as a team, focusing on resolving conflicts rather than winning them. For couples struggling with persistent communication issues, I recommend developing repair rituals. Small acts like a shared meal or hug after an argument to reconnect and prevent emotional distancing. Depression, anxiety, and low life satisfaction can deeply affect intimacy, as mental health issues often lead to emotional withdrawal, lower self-esteem, and reduced interest in closeness. These emotional states can be triggered by major transitions like postnatal experiences, bereavement, or career changes, adding unique challenges that may impact both partners. Sexual desire and self-confidence can be impacted by life transitions like post-pregnancy, menopause, or aging, as they influence how we perceive ourselves and our partners. In therapy, I foster open, compassionate conversations about intimacy needs. Couples can learn to support each other through difficult times rather than drifting apart. Remember, emotional intimacy is often more within reach than physical. One of the biggest challenges couples face is an impasse, where each partner's needs seem to conflict. For instance, women often feel the need for emotional security before engaging in physical intimacy, while men might need physical affection, which does not always mean sex, to feel connected and motivated to engage emotionally. Neither need is wrong, they're simply different. In therapy, I help couples recognize these patterns without judgment. Together, we work to understand each other's motivations and find ways to reconnect without the frustration that often builds up around unmet needs. For many couples, small gestures of affection, like touch, holding hands, or regular check-ins, can be powerful ways to break through this impasse. By addressing both emotional and physical needs, couples can create a balanced foundation for intimacy. You're probably wondering, where's the practical advice? It's right here. Let's dive into some tools to help rekindle intimacy. In my sessions, I offer practical strategies to strengthen emotional and physical closeness. We often focus on quality time and rituals. Setting aside dedicated time together each week is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to reconnect. Whether it's a weekly date night or just time to talk without distractions, regular time together lets you both reconnect emotionally. I work with couples to foster open communication, which means sharing your thoughts, needs, and feelings honestly. This reduces misunderstandings and builds trust. The more you share, the more you'll find yourself opening up and feeling closer. Non-sexual affection is another tool we refine in our sessions. Closeness doesn't always have to be sexual to be meaningful. Simple gestures like cuddling, a touch on the shoulder, or even holding hands can go a long way in making both partners feel connected and valued. In fact, it often accomplishes a lot more than that. It allows the partner who is more hesitant about intimacy to start building trust, knowing that boundaries around sex, which may have been pushed in the past, will be respected. The other partner can earn this trust and create a sense of safety by consistently honoring these boundaries during regular scheduled rituals of affection. As this trust grows, both partners may find it easier to express their concerns and desires openly, without fear of judgment, pressure, or sense of obligation to engage sexually. In therapy, I introduce the ARE framework, that is accessibility, responsiveness, and engagement. This helps couples make small, consistent efforts to be present for each other. Let's start with accessibility. This does mean being physically and emotionally available. It's not just about being in the same room, but being present and focused on your partner when they need you. I encourage couples to schedule regular check-ins to talk about how they're feeling and what they need emotionally. Consistent availability helps build trust and reassures your partner that they can rely on you. In ARI, the R stands for responsiveness. Responsiveness involves acknowledging and validating each other's emotional experiences. It's about listening attentively when your partner expresses concerns or shares their feelings, and showing that you care. In therapy, I help couples develop skills to respond without defensiveness, ensuring that both partners feel heard and understood. This kind of responsiveness builds emotional security. Finally, the E in ARE stands for engagement. Engagement is about actively participating in the relationship and showing interest in your partner's emotional world. I encourage couples to be curious about each other's needs and desires. This kind of consistent engagement creates emotional intimacy and makes each partner feel important and valued. The ARE framework creates a strong emotional foundation by ensuring both partners feel emotionally secure, valued, and connected. By practicing these elements consistently, couples begin to rekindle intimacy in a way that feels safe and supportive. Thank you for tuning in. And so, what have we covered in this video? We learnt that rekindling intimacy isn't about rushing back to how things were. It's about building a new foundation for closeness that reflects who you both are now. It's an ongoing journey that involves patience, empathy, and an openness to explore new ways of connecting. In couple therapy, I'll help you nurture intimacy. Rekindling intimacy is not about fixing each other, but about creating an environment where both partners feel valued, respected, and safe. The process takes time, but with commitment, you can rediscover the depth of connection that brought you together in the first place. A free video consultation is a chance to see if I'm a good fit. It's intended for those open to continuing with further sessions or lower cost groups or courses, as we'll explore ways I can best support your relationship over time. During the consultation, we'll look at your needs and communication patterns. This initial consultation is an introduction rather than a therapy session, giving us both a feel for how we might work together. From there, we can begin the journey toward a more connected and fulfilling relationship.